Here on this channel, I tend to like exploring the deeper intricacies of different K-pop issues. But mostly, I like to focus on just the music. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of K-pop is far more thematically mature than some have been led to believe. Sure, you have your cute bops, your quirky bops, and your ass-shaking bops, but every now and then, we get songs that might sound one way, despite them actually carrying a much deeper and even darker meaning. We might not always notice these different meanings at first listen, but these are songs that may dress themselves in pretty colors and decadent visuals, only while hiding some much darker subject matter just below the surface. Now, some of my analysis of the songs mentioned in this video is just pure speculation on my part, so please try to take most of what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. I am definitely not a music journalist, and much of what I say is just me talking off the top of my head. This video idea randomly came to me after someone in a previous comment section really made me think about all of the times that I listened to a song believing that it was uplifting and happy-go-lucky, only for me to go back and look at the lyrics and then come to the conclusion that these songs are far heavier than I initially thought they were. So, let's start with a song that I've only recently gone back to years after release. Twice is a group that once caught a lot of flack for having no substance. Because of this, their songs were often overlooked and dismissed as being just silly and cute. But I've come to realize just how wrong assumptions like these truly are. Likey may be their happiest sounding song, but damn is this song relatable and actually quite sad. It's essentially about a girl who finds her sense of self-worth deteriorating mainly due to her habit of seeking validation through social media. They sing lines like, "Inside the small screen, I want to be the prettiest, yet still I hide my feelings deep inside. It takes so much effort to get the perfect look, but it's something that I can never give up. Makes my heart beat every day. It's something you must never know. Then I go on pretending." You really can't help but see yourself through these lyrics, because I'm willing to bet that all of us have felt this way at least once in our lives. I'm not on social media a lot, but there have been plenty of times when I found myself scrolling through Instagram and seeing other people who I've perceived to be far more attractive, and for a split second I think to myself, wow, I wouldn't mind looking like this person for one day. I wonder what that would be like. It's very human to feel insecure and to covet other people's lives until you realize that the people you admire and want to be are likely desperate to be other people themselves. It's all just a big merry-go-round shit show of insecurity. Twice's Likey got me in my feelings mainly because it felt like they were telling me about myself with these lyrics. Anyway, the song is still great and I loved it then like I love it now. But when I listen to it now, I have to forget what the lyrics are saying, just to allow myself to vibe. Now let's move on to the next song. This song isn't the heaviest in the sense that it's sad, but more so in the sense of how nostalgic it made me feel. This is going to be hard for me to explain, so forgive me if any of this comes out sounding dumb or even pretentious. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even blame you if you wanted to just skip this entire section. Here's a timestamp for anyone who isn't interested in hearing my tinfoil hat theories. Okay, so Red Flavor to me is at its best when you listen to it while you're watching the music video. Though it's framed as a classic summer bop, and yes, it will forever be one of the most iconic summer songs to ever exist, but the deeper levels resting below the surface of this song's hyper-energetic instrumentals are quite masterful. So essentially, what I took from it was that this song describes the general process of how we'll all eventually mature into adulthood, and these various stages of life are described like flavors of food in the song. These are common flavors that most of us have tasted at least once, in the same way that most of us will someday experience these different stages of life. I've heard many people say that the lyrics were actually far more vulgar, but I don't personally believe that. In one scene in the music video, they have Irene basically recreate a childhood photo of herself, as if to say that she misses that part of her life and who she was back then, and this was her way of paying tribute to it. Now, I don't know if the picture of that little girl was actually her, but I figured that the way she was presented in that scene, alongside lyrics that describe past summers and how those memories made them feel, was their way of conveying that general theme. This, in conjunction with the scenes of the members interviewing fruit, made me wonder if they were basically saying that they themselves were the fruit, because a couple of times the scenes would cut to them literally interviewing themselves. Since many say that some fruit tastes the best as they ripen, the music video and song could be saying that the older we get, the more knowledgeable we become about life in general. I don't know, I'm probably just reading way too much into this, because the song could also just be a very straightforward sentimental piece about young love. I just think that it's completely open to interpretation either way, and you guys can definitely drop your own interpretations in the comments below if you want, because I am very curious to see what other people think. Okay, I think I'm rambling now, so let's move on. This song is far more straightforward than the previous one, mainly because there is no poetry in its prose. Sunme basically speaks about being in a relationship with someone that she really shouldn't be in a relationship with lines like, "You always fight to the bitter end and try to cover everything. Why did you give me wings and want me to fall? And you say to me, be a good girl and make me take my tears back." I think it's obvious that this relationship is toxic, or at the very least, very unhealthy. But unlike some songs and other forms of media that romanticize toxicity, this song, in my opinion, simply describes the reality of it. The protagonist knows that this relationship isn't good for them, and they acknowledge that with lines like, "Do whatever you want. Even if you're mean and you make me sad, you need to be yourself, even if it hurts me." So despite knowing that this relationship is unhealthy, she's helplessly swept up in the intoxicating theatrics of the relationship and how good and bad it makes her feel. So she literally just tells herself the show must go on because she can't find her way out of it, and has deluded herself into thinking that this is simply how things have to be. She can't be with or without this person and is willing to deal with the negative consequences of the decision to stay with them. Like with most abusive relationships in real life, it isn't always easy to just walk away. There's often a lot of emotional warfare with relationships like this. Sometimes people don't even realize they're in a toxic relationship until someone else points it out. Seeing how self-aware the protagonist of this song is about their tragic circumstances and the brutality of this realization is the most heartbreaking thing about it, honestly. Because knowing that you have a problem, but not knowing how to fix it, is depressingly relatable. Either way, the song is a happy-sounding bop with some seriously dark undertones. And Sunme is really good at juxtaposing these two contradicting aspects, because she, like another artist on this list, does it a lot throughout a majority of her discography. On to the next song. This is one of my favorite pre-release Luna solos, and also one of the most unexpectedly heavy songs I've ever heard. Now, I know that many of you might be questioning my sanity and saying, what the hell are you talking about? This song is a cute little love song. What's dark or deep about it? And yes, if you listen to the song without reading the lyrics or looking at the music video, you would be right. But lines like, "I'll give it my all, take my heart, surely you're my destiny," makes me feel like the protagonist of this song is practically begging their crush to love them, and simultaneously trying to convince themselves that this person is the only one that they're meant to be with. Unrequited love is honestly one of the most underrated themes that we don't see enough of in K-pop. I love me some angsty sad girl songs, so I wouldn't be mad if more groups were to release more comebacks that deliver this type of energy. Though this song at first grabbed me because of its theatrics and presentation giving off an almost Broadway-esque feel, the desperate lyrics in contrast with how cheery and happy Chu sings them is such a dynamic combination and a total subversion of expectations because you don't expect songs to conflict like that. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but if so, then I really appreciate the attention to detail here. And finally, we have this song is one of the most deceptive songs I've ever heard. Then again, I could probably make that statement about most of Lovely's discography. These women are the queens of making me ugly cry and dance at the same time. On one hand, this song tells the story of a woman who was heartbroken by her love interest, while also discussing all of the ways that she became a better person because of this heartbreak. It strongly reminds me of a happier sounding Hua, which is a major plus because you guys know that I will never shut up about how perfect Hua is. While the heartbroken protagonist is desperately trying to recover from a breakup, they find themselves eventually being at peace with how things ended, while also not regretting the relationship itself, and eventually coming to the realization that she doesn't hate the person responsible for causing the heartbreak. It's honestly a very multifaceted song that manages to hide so much of the secret darkness behind these upbeat instrumentals. Lovely's discography is such an underrated treasure trove that deserves a deeper dive someday because there is so much to unpack here. I will forever be salty about the way their careers ended as a group because they, alongside G-Friend, are K-pop's sad bop queens. And I wish that we had gotten to keep both of these groups for a little bit longer. There are just no other groups currently bringing what they once brought to the table. The only two groups that I can think of off the top of my head that are still currently doing this style of music today are CSR or ILY1. I really hope that I pronounced their name correctly. Please let me know in the comments section whether or not I just royally screwed every part of that name up. And also, please don't ever be afraid to correct me anytime I mispronounce something. Anyway, even Oh My Girl has pretty much stopped doing these boldly orchestral presentations, and I really need another girl group to step up to the plate and bring this concept back. Unfortunately, I know that future gen groups are unlikely to gravitate toward this sound because it's just not what's currently in style, so I get it. But hey, a girl can still dream, I guess. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that this video wasn't a total mess. I barely even had a script, and most of it felt like it was just me randomly saying things in hopes that I might have managed to string together a cohesive thought. Still, I really enjoy revisiting songs that are years old and dissecting them under a different context. Tell me what songs you guys have revisited in the comments below. Do you still feel the same way about these songs now, or has your opinion changed about them? Let me know. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.